What's up, everyone? So, today I'm going to talk about what's the average salary in America, and this is, of course, with Fidelity and the other places I research. The main reason why I'm talking about the average salary is because I keep seeing articles like this. Generation Z ideal assess of 600% of what boomers settle for. Shocking. So, America thinks they need an average salary of 270 annually to be successful. And you start seeing more people on TikTok and other social media platforms thinking that the salary they need to live in America. And it's outrageous because I was an employer and I was trying to hire secretaries and everything else. And the compensation they want for the level of job that I was asking for, it was number different was so big. Some people wanted to work in a warehouse and literally asked for $48 an hour to work in a warehouse just to organize and put stuff on shelves. I told them I can't afford you. I don't know where you get that salary range from because I was offering $22 an hour for them to work in a warehouse. And it was AC and it was just a typical 8-hour job. And it was so hard to find people to work at a proper salary range. And I keep asking, where are you getting these salary ranges from? And they always tell me, oh, I saw on TikTok, these streamers make $100,000, $200,000 a month. So I assume that this is the salary range. Like the OnlyFans model, her shows her salary for a month. And it was a crazy amount of money. And I believe she said she made $43 million, according to this article, in her first year on the platform. That's $43 million in 1 year. So, yes, some people make a lot of money off of OnlyFans, but majority of people do not make that much money. Now, let's talk about how much money do the average salary by age, by degrees, by everything. Because it does matter what state you're in, your education level, and your average salary by age. And this is course with Fidelity, Forbes, and anything else you can think of. Because they came out with articles about this. And according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, American workers made a median wage of $1,139 per week in the first quarter of 2024, which adds up to be $59,228 per year. The median pay can vary significantly depending on factors like age, sex, location, and education. So understand the economics comparison to others could empower you to make a more informed decision on your career. Now, whenever the other generations start talking about, hey, you need to save more money so you can buy a house, I'm going to say right now that that's an unfair thing to say because almost on average, everyone's making the same. And you really can't say buy a house whenever your house prices was dramatically cheaper. And due to inflation, the cost, your salary didn't match the inflation of these houses. So let's go into the average salary. So the average salary translates to $4,935 a month or $59,228 per year. That is a 3.5 increase first quarter of 2023 and a median weekly wage of $1,100. So we did have a 3.2% increase on average, but that doesn't really help anything. So let's talk about the by ages. So the average U.S. salary by age between 16 and 19, they roughly make $619 per week on average. And that equals to $32,188 per year. So on average, a 16 to 19-year-old makes $600 a week. Now, a 20 to 24-year-old, average pay per week is $757 or $39,364 per year. So there shows you that's the average due to being in college or anything else like that. Now, the average salary for 25 to 34-year-old is $1,056 per week or $54,912 per year. So if you are a millennial, your average salary is $54,912 a year. And this is just across the ages, not counting all the degrees and everything else like that. Now, the ages 35 and 44 is $1,233 or $64,000 and $160,000 per year, 35 to 44. Now, between 45 and 54 is $1,303 per week or $67,756 per year. Now, we're going to do 55 to 64, and it is $1,254 per week or $65,000 and $208 per year. So the salaries are pretty close to each other. Now, it does count for one person and is not considered household. So the average U.S. salary by education. So if you have less than a high school diploma, your average salary a week is $718 or $37,336 per year. That makes sense. You have no education, you do make less money. Now, a high school graduate makes $901 per year or $46,852 per year. So if you make a high school graduate, you make $46,852 per year. Now, if you have an associate's degree, your average salary is $1,027 per week or $53,404 per year. Now, the big increase here is for bachelor degrees. That's why education is important. The average bachelor degree, that's engineering and anything else like that, makes an average salary of $1,551 per week or $80,652 per year. So a bachelor's degree does have a significant jump from associate's degrees. So if you're trying to get out of the rut and trying to get into a better lifestyle, the easiest thing you can do is go for your education and get a proper education with a proper degree that's willing to pay you for your degree. Don't get a random art degree, a random history degree, and they think you're going to make a lot of money. These are just random degrees I'm picking, but you can look at the degree and see what's the salary outcome after you get it. So it's a return on your investment is what you're trying to look at. And you have to do that for education because not all education are the same on pay. You go to cooking school in America, the average return on a cooking degree is not that high. It is at $18, $20 an hour, and it's not worth going to school and wasting $40,000 on it. So you have to look at that stuff. And then the advanced degree, like your master and PhD, would pay you $1,899 per week or $98,748 a year. So your degrees matter. So the median earning of those who had a bachelor degrees are more than $30,000 or 70% higher than those who didn't receive an education. So it's very important to receive your education because it does matter. Now, there is a difference in pay whenever you talk about by state. Now, I can go over all 50 states, but it doesn't make sense for me to do that because it'll just take too long. But the average salary for someone in Alaska is $69,000.56. But then you go all the way to Texas, and the average salary is $69,472. Then if you go somewhere like Mississippi, Mississippi will pay you on average $48,204 a year. So depending on where you go, that is base your salary. So you cannot expect a high salary to do a menial job or low level job. It's just how it works in America. You can get paid more over time, but you have to think about, hey, what is a reasonable salary? Because I had an issue with some of my coworkers that it'll be a different level job and they're like, oh, I think that job's supposed to pay 38, 40, $50 an hour. And then I tell them the reality is no, it's not. It's actually like $24, $25. And they're wondering where I get my numbers from. So I tell them, hey, I get my numbers from Glassdoor and look at the average on throughout the nation. I'll also look on Indeed to find out what's the average salary for those positions, because it's public knowledge on how much people can make in certain positions. And I look at this over and over and tell people, hey, y'all need to look at what the average salary is. Now, if you want average hourly wage, the average hourly wage for 16 to 19-year-old is $15.28. Now, for 20 and 24-year-old, it's $18.43. 25 and 34-year-old is $25.45. 35 to 44-year-old is $30.58. 45 to 54-year-old is $30.98. And 55 to 64 is $30.45 on average their wage. So those are, yearly average. So just pay attention, because education matters and everything else matters. If you really want to get into it, you can have a doctor's degree, and the average doctorate degree nationwide is $100,000. So it really does matter on your degrees. I would talk about gender pay gap and everything else, but that's not where I'm going to focus on. I just want everyone to know that the average salary is different compared to what people believe it is. Because people believe that, hey, to get a boyfriend, I want him to make six figures. Well, the average person makes $50,000, $60,000 a year. So why are you demanding six figures unless you are worth it? But hey, like and subscribe to my video. But that's the average salary in America. Now, you can believe it or not, but yeah, it's not the average salary $200,000. The average salary is $50,000, $60,000, and anyone making $200,000 is in the 1 percentile in America.